Okay, so football fever just went by and it was crazy. And I was just wondering, like, why fans across the world drool over football like it's not gonna come back that soon. Or maybe it's true because it's happening once in 4 years. Is there something behind it that you would like to talk about? Is there any strategy that we can use in our work life?
Yeah, absolutely. It hinges on another invisible selling strategy called scarcity. So again, the human brain is always on the lookout for shortcuts. It's very difficult to think about what is the value of a product or a service, and one of the most powerful shortcuts that the human brain has evolved is scarce must be valuable.
And where does this come from?
When we were cavemen, scarcity of food could lead to death.
Right.
Today, it definitely can lead to death, but the chances are much lower. Even plenty of poor people manage to get food from various sources and stay alive. So it's not a rational response, it's a completely irrational response. People get overexcited, they die of heart attacks and have blood pressure problems when they are hit with scarcity, though there's no logical reason for that to happen. So if somebody's lost a little amount of money, it's not that amount of money is going to make him starve for the rest of his life, but it hits him completely disproportionately. The smartest marketers know it. This is an invisible strategy that's used by the smartest companies in the world, the smartest filmmakers in the world. If you look at Anthony Hopkins' performance in amazing movie Silence of the Lambs, there's no doubt that it's one of the best performances on screen ever. But a very interesting point is that it went on only for 12 minutes in a movie which is more than 120 minutes in length. So that's less than 10% screen time, for which Anthony Hopkins, or I think it's Sir Anthony Hopkins now, won an Oscar not for supporting actor, but for main actor in 1992. It's even more surprising because if you were to analyze Silence of the Lambs, it's not his story. It's the story of Clarice Starling, played by Jodie Foster. It's obvious, she gets more screen time. The title is Silence of the Lambs. Jodie Foster is playing a character who sees lambs being slaughtered and she listens to their screams in her sleep. And that's why she wants to help people, hoping that through these nightmares will stop. So as you can see, it's completely her story, in spite of which she doesn't get an Oscar for supporting for Best Actor, and he gets it, though it's, one would argue, a supporting role. So one of the things that really works in Anthony Hopkins' favor is he doesn't have too much screen time. So the audience loves him, they love his performance, and they're always eager to see him next. And that increases his value in the movie. And if you look at Sholay, Sholay again is an absolutely unique movie. It's a legendary movie. It is a movie where not just one character, but plenty of characters are remembered for several decades after the movie's been launched, and people know characters, people know dialogues of these characters in a very fluid way, even today. Which character do you think became the most popular?
I think Gabbar Singh.
Absolutely. And which character do you think had the least screen time among, let's say, the top 4 characters?
Gabbar Singh again?
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't have an analysis ready, but I am absolutely sure his screen time was even less than 10%, even less as a percentage than Anthony Hopkins was in Silence of the Lambs. Because again, it's the same logic. Because you like that character, you want to see him again, you don't see him too often, so when he comes, you feel very excited. And going back to Silence of the Lambs, Silence of the Lambs was such a successful movie that it was followed by movies which were in the same genre like Hannibal and Red Dragon, where Anthony Hopkins had considerably more screen time. And those movies did not do as well as Silence of the Lambs. Now, there will be some people who say that no sequels do as well as the original movie. Well, some sequels do. For example, Godfather 2. Many people consider it financially and critically a better success than Godfather 1. So I think it's scarcity at work there. So that was movies, and how do companies use this?
Yes, like...
In the US, you have these famous Black Friday sales.
Oh yes, I've been there.
Okay.
Crazy.
So congratulations on coming out alive. And without
and buy nothing.
Yeah, okay. So that's a very good thing. That's a smart thing because according to Kenneth Brown, who is a professor who trains people on influence and persuasion at the University of Iowa, there's really not great. There's no great difference between the offers that you get on Black Friday versus offers that you get at other times during the year. Maybe you're getting the best offers, but in terms of the difference in magnitude of what's being offered then and what's being offered off that day, it's not such a big thing. Amazon Day recently happened in India. I don't have a complete analysis of this. Maybe some products were drastically knocked off in price. I checked personally the price of a MacBook Pro, and it said that there was a discount of 6% on MacBook Pro. 6% is not something that's going to make me dance with joy. It's wonderful, but it's not something that is going to make me wait eagerly for Amazon Day to put in my purchase. If I need a laptop right now, I'm just going to go and buy it and try to get the best deal. If I'm going to get an Amazon MacBook Pro at a 40 or 50% discount, then I'll manage with some cheap computer, wait till Amazon Day, and then buy that computer. The deal is not enticing enough for me to do that. So it's a scarcity thing that builds up the hype rather than any real big deal that is coming away.
Just to interrupt, I'm curious to know, how are you going to use, or how have you used this strategy before?
Okay, so I have obviously used this strategy several times because this is a very, very powerful strategy. Rather than dwelling on the past, I want to tell you how I'm using it for a future program of mine. I am planning a Mind Map Train the Trainer program. Okay. It's a 3-day program in September. Now, there are 2 scarcity elements which are attached to this for good reason, not just for the purpose of scarcity, not just for the sake of scarcity. One is that it's going to be restricted only to 5 people, so there are only 5 seats available. Number 1. Number 2 is I should not be doing any other Mind Map Train the Trainer session in this calendar year.
Oh, so the ones who really want to become Mind Map trainers, yes, will want to come in this year itself.
That's right. So expect the program to set out in my first communication itself. That's another instance of me demonstrating my faith in these strategies when I'm using them themselves, when I'm using them myself.
Great.